Welcome back, all you renegades. Today, I'm diving into more of the Sick Boy album. I've checked out a couple of tracks from it randomly. Money Game Part 3 and Sick Boy. And this seems to be the next one to get to, which is the opening track. And lots of people are saying, check this one out next. So that's what I'm doing. Let's go.
Zal uw gilde naar vrouwen, het oorlogen wen, maar de nest kind een lang hen, aan mij uw koor werft korfren.
How cool is that straight away already? I guess this is Welsh, is it? Visually as well. This is cool, just visually as well. This is, it makes you think of like, what would it be called? Monastery music, monks chanting and all that. So I'll be interested to find out what, I don't suppose there's a translation of this, is there? In the, I can't scroll down on this, the way I've got it set up. I would be interested to know what these lyrics mean. Somebody put a translation in the comments, please, if there's one available. And is it Welsh? But what great as well, isn't it? Just he's not bound, is he, by style? I know this is supposedly the hip hop album or the rap album, but putting in these different elements is cool, man. And what a great example, to artists in general, just to be free, and to be personal to you, and to do, and as well, I would wonder how much, is he can't be sat around thinking, oh, what are people gonna like, or what are people gonna be interested in? Because it doesn't work like that, does it? Because when you do that sort of stuff, I feel it probably lacks some kind of authenticity. So he's obviously just following his curiosities, which I think as an artist, that's all you can do, and that's the best way, is just to follow your curiosities wherever they're going to take you.
Zal uw gilde naar vrouwen, het oorlogen wen, maar de nest kind een lang hen. Maar uw koor werft korfren.
I do like this, thematically, the tracks I'm hearing off this album then so far is that, I like musically that there are differences, different bits is exploring. Like I said, it's cool to have this chanty thing in there in Welsh, but this is the third track I guess I've heard from this album, but it feels like the same, the same artist, the same band, the same movie or something, because even I guess even bands, rock and roll bands, things that spring to mind are like Arctic Monkeys, AM. Musically, that album sounds the same, all the way through. If you know what I mean. The same with I guess an Oasis album, but their albums sound like like they're using different sounds per album. Same with maybe someone like the Fugees, I suppose. So it's like he's taking a set. It's like he's taking a set, isn't he, of sounds and instruments, and making a record with that. I think that's pretty cool. I'm interested to hear the rest. I would assume sonically the themes are going to continue.
I lay broken on the kitchen floor. I clawed at the laminate. Pain wandered my body, an uninvited guest. Bones of a home where the devil could rest. I cursed the gods, cursed my messiah, cursed my maker. I cursed all of creation. There I lay, feeble and thin. Sick boy, seven my sin. Have you ever felt pain? Stomach wrenching, unrelenting. Tell me, have you ever felt pain? Condescending, muscles clenching. Tell me, have you ever felt pain? A rose emerges from the pavement cracks. They'll write my eulogy with broken glass. Eternal parallax.
A rose emerges from the pavement cracks. That's a good line, isn't it? And funnily enough, somebody sent me a photo the other day of a poppy growing out of the cracks in the pavement. And I thought, wow, what a stoic little flower, you know, that's just sprung up there. And symbolically, that's interesting because that's why people wear poppies for like armistice and stuff, isn't it? To, you know, remembering the war dead and all that. Because I think on, what was it, Flanders Fields or on the fields from World War One anyway, the first thing that grew after was poppies. I think roses are interesting as well because they're obviously beautiful, but you know they've got thorns to defend themselves.
A rose emerges from the pavement cracks. They'll write my eulogy with broken glass. Eternal parallax.
Pain.
Pain the author, I accept this. Pain the teacher, bruised apprentice. Pain resisting, pain will come. Pain the mother, I'm the son. Pain that splits you, and too many hits you. The dark and the light will converge to one. Pain that twists you, the heavens dismiss you. The Father, the Ghost, and the Holy Son. Body bagging me. Zip it up quick, get their things on B. I search for.
I mean, I know this is an extreme example, isn't it, with Ren, because of the pain that I know I've heard him speak about, and you guys reference in the comments. But also, you know, this is I guess the reason that his music and his lyrics are connecting, you know, is because they can be applied to just life in general, you know. I mean, I'm sure some of you have experiencing that, you know, that extreme chronic pain and stuff. What he's saying about, you know, yeah, pain the teacher, you know, pain the author. They're interesting ideas, you know, and some kind of pain, I suppose, is necessary. Perhaps, you know, because I guess experiencing voluntary discomfort is what I'm trying to say. That's what I've discovered. I think is, and it does seem to be different. You know, if you can voluntarily, like I'm a big fan of cold exposure. I found it very, very helpful to my mental health, my productivity, everything. You know. So I think I've been doing like daily cold showers for a number of years now, and it was a turning point for me. That thing of voluntary discomfort, you know, doing something you don't want to do, because we've all got it. You know, there's so much, isn't there, in life, you know, that you don't want to do, and the comfort zone, I think, is where dreams go to die. So some kind of pain or discomfort is necessary. I know that's not what he's talking about from his own experience here, but that's what I would recommend, you know. Just try and turn the cold shower on at the end, you know, when you finish, just a little bit, because if you can put yourself into that voluntary discomfort, you might just find it helps you out in you know, the rest of your life, and it's good for like anti-inflammatory effects and all sorts. I'd recommend watching the Vice documentary about Wim Hof. It's a good starting point for these kind of things. There's a good breathing technique in there as well that supposedly can be helpful. It's not a cure for anything, but check it out.
Relax.
Pain.
Pain the author, I I accept this. Pain the teacher, bruised apprentice. Pain resisting, pain will come. Pain the mother, I'm the son. Pain that splits you, and too many hits you. The dark and the light will converge to one. Pain that twists you, the heavens dismiss you. The Father, the Ghost, and the Holy Son. Body bagging me. Zip it up quick, get their things on B. I search for peace in the belly of a beast. Sick boy on a matapia. Running up a fever, following a leader. Wanna be me, huh? Grass isn't greener. Bright light, seizure, dynamite D.
Yeah, the grass is always greener, isn't it, you know? I'm sure there will be people out there, well, it's all right for Ren now, you know, look, he's finding some success and blah, 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 this, that, the other, but... yeah. I would avoid those people. They're not helpful to you, you know. Those voices aren't helpful. I don't know why I'm thinking of... Is it a Burroughs quote, maybe? Every man has his secret sorrows that the world knows not. And often we call that man cold when he's only sad. Not sure how related that is, but it sprung to mind. But yeah, the grass isn't always greener. It's just a different shade of green, I would guess.
Boy on a matapia, running up a fever, following a leader. Wanna be me, huh? Grass isn't greener. Bright light, seizure, dynamite dealer. Dine at the table of the coroner, E-top for 13 years and I've been feeling so stuck. Lucky number 13, just my luck. Empires tumble, rubble and dust. The universe shrinks and the planets come.
13 as well. Where does that, does anybody know where the origins of that number supposedly being unlucky is, you know? Because I don't know, but I do know that I've always found comfort in the number 13. From a very young age, I kind of was like, well, that's my lucky number. As far as I believe in, you know, lucky numbers. But I'd have like a school peg I went to 3 different schools, and my school peg was number 13 in 3 different schools. But also I feel, you know, there's a natural inclination in me to rebel, you know, and if people say I can't do something, then that fuels my fire, you know. So I think maybe I liked that it was seen as unlucky, you know. I'm going to reclaim that number for myself. Let's go back a little bit.
Lucky number 13, just my luck. Empires tumble, rubble and dust. The universe shrinks and the planets combust. In God we trust. God tied a noose to his neck and he walked to the edge and he jumped. Angels wept, I bear witness, watching the whole thing unfold from my bed. A bed where I never deep rest, a bed where I'm always depressed. A bed with the human oppressed, a bed for a tomb where I slept. A bed in the room that's a womb for this mess. Sick boy bitten by a tick boy, tell me how it feels.
It's relentless, isn't it, as well? Like musically, it's that rolling beat, you know, like rolling thunder, you know. But it's just not. He's doing. I found it in Sick Boy as well, you know. The just musically and thematically, he's treating it like a movie, you know, like scenes from a movie. And what a wonderful way to make music.
Watching the whole thing unfold from my bed. A bed where I never deep rest, a bed where I'm always depressed. A bed with the human oppressed, a bed for a tomb where I slept. A bed in the room that's a womb for this mess. Sick boy bitten by a tick boy, tell me how it feels to be buried while you breathe. Stones and sticks boy, pain is a gift boy. Hard to make a stand when you crawl on your knees and I kneel. I kneel at the altar of my own disease and I beg.
I mean, I'm not going to keep going back, but there are like little brief moments in his lyrics, aren't there, you know, of hope. I'm going to go back, actually. I lied.
Tick boy, tell me how it feels to be buried while you breathe. Stones and sticks boy, pain is a gift boy.
Pain is a gift boy. So is he telling that to himself? You know, I'm sure maybe other people have said that to him. But there's little bits in his lyrics, you know, he's talking about how difficult it is and how challenging, but then there always seems to be slight lines of hope or optimism, you know, which I really dig, man. I dig that way of telling stories, because life is tough, you know. Everyone's got their own stuff to deal with, you know, and it's all relative, I suppose, to your experience, you know, or what you've experienced, you know. So I wouldn't like to say, someone's got it worse than someone else, although I'm grateful, very grateful that I've got my health, and genetically I seem to be doing all right, and I haven't suffered from any extreme illness. I am very grateful for that and feel fortunate, and I plan to make the most of that. Now I've stopped abusing my body, I suppose.
Hard to make a stand when you crawl on your knees, and I kneel. I kneel at the altar of my own disease and I beg the sky for mercy. Mercy never came, I dipped me dirty. 33 and hurting, cursing. Jesus died at 33 and still my sins are lurking. Gears are turning, future
33, it's an interesting number, isn't it? I don't know if anyone's ever into those kind of things, but we've got there are 32/33 steps in stonemasonry. We've got 33 vertebrae in our spine. Is that correct? Is that what it's Jacob's ladder? Is that there's the spiritual aspects of this, isn't there? I think in different religions there's the steps, and we've got 32 vertebrae, but 33 if you count the bottom, because technically the bottom two are fused together or something like that. I think I've watched a lot of things about this, but it's a long time ago, so I can't remember. But yes, symbolically, that's 33, and as well, isn't 33? I guess is the age that Jesus was crucified and then rose again. The resurrection, which I find, whether you're a religious person or not, I find the idea of these things fascinating, and it's a good way, I think, to view life, because at some point, I guess, we're all crucified, or we crucify ourselves, or whatever it is, and to learn and to grow, I think. And it's kind of like the 3-act structure that persists in storytelling as well, isn't it? That you rise, you fall, you're taken to pieces, and then you rise again, reborn, anew, and, hopefully wiser. Because if you don't experience any hardship, or if you're not forced to change, what do you discover about yourself? It's in the difficult moments, isn't it, that you find out who you are. It's heavy stuff, man. It's heavy stuff.
Sticks, boy, pain is a gift, boy. Hard to make a stand when you crawl on your knees, and I kneel. I kneel at the altar of my own disease and I beg the sky for mercy. Mercy never came, I dipped me dirty. 33 and hurting, cursing. Jesus died at 33 and still my sins are lurking. Gears are turning, future stays uncertain. Surgeon incision, murder ambition. Fear of the unknown preserves a religion. Denounced the gods when my body went missing.
Fear of the unknown preserves a religion.
Ambition. Fear of the unknown preserves a religion. Denounced the gods when my body went missing.
It preserves the control aspect of it, I suppose, doesn't it? Never liked that phrase, God-fearing. The rebel in me, again, I suppose.
Back then, the pain spray ricochet like a Mac 10. Hot lead hit the bed that was trapped in. Red wing seraphim out of God's grace. Cried tears from heaven like Clapton. Stick pins in the voodoo Hendrix. Thick skin, stay humble Kendrick. Stay skeptic, check the biometrics. Bloodstained crime scene forensic. Lights on, lights out. Fade into the background. So down, running from the silhouette.
Yeah, audibly, it gets uncomfortable, doesn't it? It's less like Rolling Thunder now, and more like confusion and running from the silhouette of self-doubt. yeah, you've got to overcome that.
Self-doubt. By now, really should have figured this shit out. Lights on, lights out. Smackdown. Let it be. Quote John Lennon. Click-clack, John got shot for attention. What does that tell you about the good of intentions? Bitterness
There's a Lennon interview where he talks about that, what does it mean? I think it might have been even the day he shot. He did this interview, the day he got shot. What does it mean? What does it mean to be such a pacifist that you get shot? I did go through a phase of, I guess unintentionally or not even realising, quoting John Lennon's things quite a lot because I've got a mate who's got a kid who I guess at the time was probably, maybe 7 years old or something. And I wasn't even talking to him, I was talking to my friend, but at some point this little 7-year-old just piped up and says, John Lennon this, John Lennon that, that's all you ever talk about. Yeah, from the mouths of babes, isn't it? It's kind of, it was a nice little moment. And of course, yeah, we all laughed. And it was nice to be called out, I suppose, by a kid. You get a point.
Figure this shit out. Lights on, lights out. Smack down. Let it be. Quote John Lennon. Click clack, John got shot for attention. What does that tell you about the good of intentions? Bitterness formed in a storm of aggression. Prophets get dropped, imagining heaven. Martin Luther, Mahatma, dead. 6-6 followed by 6 and 7. Build and praise and bury them dead. I was born to be half a man with half a chance. My heart isn't half righteous, half is down and half a gram. Hard those troubles and thoughts stay darker than Urukai master plan. Sharper than glass shards, splinter and cinnamon. Irony could kill a man. He makes money when the music lands. Expand, pay me my cheese, rain down parmesan. Followed by 7 whole sins for a self-made Armageddon.
Also, what's I know in popular culture the 666 is the number of the beast and all that. But where does that come from? Does anybody know? All I think about, what this makes me think about is the atom, I suppose, because it is the six electrons, 6 protons, 6 neutrons, right? Also, I guess the similarity in the world between atom and Adam and the first man and all that.
Sin 1, pride. Pride makes a man kill a man for his ego to survive. Sin 2, lust. Lust makes the grass look greener, crucifies trust. Sin 3.
That's interesting, isn't it? Lust makes. I think in a recent reaction, I was talking about it was in my podcast episode. I don't know if there's a podcast out there that I'm doing from episode 1, Romeo and Juliet. I think I spoke about how do you tell the difference between lust and love. That's a very good way of putting it, isn't it? Lust makes the grass look greener.
Half is down and half a gram. Hard those troubles and thoughts stay darker than Urukai master plan. Sharper than glass shards, splinter and cinnamon. Irony could kill a man. He makes money when the music lands. Expand, pay me my cheese, rain down parmesan. Followed by 7 whole sins for a self-made Armageddon. Sin 1, pride. Pride makes a man.
Okay, so this is the. It's going to list the 7 deadly sins now. Pride. Yeah.
Kill a man for his ego to survive. Sin 2, lust. Lust makes the grass look greener, crucifies trust.
Yeah, I really like that the way he's put that. Lust makes the grass look greener.
Sin 3, gluttony. Humans consume and consume. Planet Earth gets a frontal lobotomy. 4, sloth.
Gluttony, yeah, man, that's so above, so below, isn't it? The macro and the micro and all that. And on a personal, on a global level, gluttony, of course, tough. Gluttony, in my own experience, I suppose, when I was younger, and was a big drinker, a big partier and stuff, and just kind of about consumption, I suppose, not knowingly, but then when I finally, I don't know, came to my senses, hit the bottom. Whatever way you wish to look at it. When that happened, I realised, then I stopped drinking, but I started eating, and just, so it wasn't really about the alcohol or whatever else it was I was doing. It was trying to change how I felt by external things, So now I've become more aware, and I feel like I've got my eating and lots of things under control. I'm getting better all the time, which takes work, and you've got to show up for yourself daily. But I do notice now that if I feel like, on occasion, if I do overeat, which isn't a lot or much, and I'm eating much healthier stuff these days, but if I have that urge or that desire, mostly I can catch myself and go, there's something I'm not addressing. Something is bothering me. There's a feeling, there's an emotion, or something that's rising up, and I'm trying to, quell it. Which I would guess is that the root of addiction, compulsive behaviour, booze, drugs, sex, shopping, binge watching TV shows, perhaps. I don't know.
Rinse and repeat, reruns, repeat time.
Sloth as well, yeah. That's you've got to get up, haven't you? You've got to do stuff. You've got to make progress, no matter how small. As I mentioned before, even if it's just bringing the vacuum into the room or whatever. You just got to make progress and then try and build on that. Because time's moving fast, and it's going to move anyway.
Lost. Sin 5, envy. That's when one man's win is another man's frenzy. Sin 6, wrath.
Yeah, gosh, there's so much to unpack here, isn't there? My brain is catching up. Envy. Have I got anything to say about envy? It's just a waste of time, isn't it, envy? It's just a waste of time. It's like you're giving your energy to somebody else, It's a waste of time.
Envy, that's when one man's win is another man's frenzy. Sin 6, wrath, rage, vengeance, killers, psycho.
Wrath. There's a great is it William Blake poem that I only know because of Peaky Blinders. I was angry with my friend. I told my wrath did end. I was angry with my foe. I told it not. My wrath did grow.
Sin 7, greed. Greed plants a seed that will destroy us all if we succumb to greed. If we take what we need and take more than we need, then our oceans will bleed. Still we feed and we feed and we sleep and repeat, and we exile the shepherds and follow the sheep.
Yeah, greed. It's easy to say not to be greedy, isn't it? But I understand. It's a fear. It's based out of fear, I suppose, isn't it? Greed. The fear that things are going to run out, or you're not going to have enough, or But so it's an understandable human emotion, isn't it? Greed. But it is based in fear, I suppose. And of course, yeah, it's not good to be greedy. Share.
Plants a seed that will destroy us all if we succumb to greed. If we take what we need and take more than we need, then our oceans will bleed. Still we feed and we feed and we sleep and repeat, then we exile the shepherds and follow the sheep. We inherit the meat. We inherit this world that we bruise and we beat. We inherit this vanity, so because of creeds. Inherit the liars, the murderous thieves. One.
It's all inherited, isn't it? The sins of the father will be visited on the son and all that, which I think I've spoke about before. And I didn't really understand what that meant at all, but then learning that the word sin actually means to miss the mark of an ideal. It's things we inherit from our parents, isn't it? The behaviours. And you don't know what you don't know. So I suppose many people go through their lives just repeating, I guess, what has come before them, maybe not even thinking too much about why you behave in certain ways, or if the behaviours you're doing are wrong, or maybe wrong's the wrong word, suboptimal, for your progression and growth. And of course, we all know cycles repeat, don't they? And trauma repeats, and whether it's abuse or addictions or whatever it is, they run, like generational curses. So I suppose, it's our job, it's our hope, it's my hope, that we can become aware of these things, and be brave enough to stand up and to combat them, one day at a time, and just keep moving forward with it. And then if you're going to have kids, if you're going to create, a little piece of the next generation, you can stop those, you can break those curses and make, the world a better place in that way.
Sin for every one day of the week.
That's interesting. That's interesting as well, isn't it? A sin for every day of the week. The number 7 is just interesting as well, isn't it? Like it's a lucky number. Yeah, 7 days of the week. I do notice this number 7 popping up in my life a lot. Like I can add digits together in my date of birth. It comes up in sevens. I won't go into the hows and whys, but yeah, it does. There's lots of different things where number 7 is very relevant, and things seem to move in 7-year cycles. 7-year chapters in life, which I find fascinating. 7 days of the week, 7 deadly sins. Man, there's so much, isn't there, about history and humanity and the universe that we just don't understand, and we can't understand, but we can continue to make progress towards understanding. And what a beautiful thing that is. But anyway, that's a long one. I've been talking for ages. Thanks for joining me, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you soon.